Hello, today we're going to start off our second unit for Extended Algebra 1A by focusing on solving one-step inequalities and graphing the solutions. So you'll see this table here at the top kind of highlights two pieces that are new. Everything else is the same process that we used when we were solving inequalities in Unit 1. So you'll see on the left side, solving one and two-step inequalities is much like solving equations with the addition of one special rule. And that is the one thing that students tend to make mistakes on. If you multiply or divide the variable by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. Okay, one key rule that we need to remember. One other thing that you need to make sure you know is we also need to graph the solutions on a number line. And just as a refresher, if you have a less than symbol or greater than symbol, we're going to use what we call an open dot or open point. And if you have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to with that line underneath each of those, that's when you're going to have a closed dot. Okay, so closed when it has the equal to, open when it doesn't. One other thing is as long as the variable comes first, the easiest way to remember this is if you hold your hand up to kind of match the sign, your less than sign looks like an L in your hand. And then it does say for graphing purposes, it may always help to always write the solution with the variable before the inequality symbol, and we will do an example to show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead and look at the first inequality. The process is the same as equations. The only difference is flipping that sign if you use a negative when you multiply or divide. So I'm going to draw my line through my equal sign, and I'm going to go ahead and solve for n. So we'll notice I have n plus 3 on the left side, so to cancel that plus 3, I'm going to do minus 3 on both sides. So if I write the right thing, do minus 3 on both sides to get n and negative 1. Okay, I deliberately left out the inequality symbol because I want to check for this rule right here. So I'm going to ask myself, did I multiply or divide the variable by anything? And my answer for this one is actually no, because I subtracted. So I don't have to worry about that new rule. I bring my inequality sign straight down. So my final answer is that n is greater than negative 1. We're going to go ahead and graph this on a number line. So I'm going to put negative 1 in the middle. Label all my positive numbers getting bigger to the right and my negative numbers to the left. Most common mistake with the number line is just labeling numbers incorrectly. And when I graph this, I need to decide, do I need an open dot or closed dot? Well, if this doesn't have an equal to sign, we just draw a circle and open dot. Okay, and then we need to shade. And the thing that's really nice about shading with your variable on the left side is that it tells you the direction by looking at your inequality sign. So if we look at the sign here, it's pointing to the right. So that means we're going to shade to the right. And I've always shown it this way. Okay, I have students who will shade. Okay, actually shade the number line, which is fine. Okay, it goes on forever. I've also had students do this above it, open dot and then show. Okay, or up and over. Okay, any of those 4 methods works as long as you can tell you have an open dot and then which direction you are shading. Okay, second problem, let's go ahead and draw a line through the equal sign. And this time the x and the 11 are right next to each other. So to cancel that, we need to divide on both sides by 11. Okay, so when I divide by 11 on the left side, the 11's cancel and I have an x. And on the right side, negative 33 divided by 11 is negative 3. Now going back to this, it says if you multiply or divide the variable by a negative, you must flip the sign. So I did divide here, but if I look at what I divided the variable by, it was actually a positive. So if this 11 was negative, that would change the sign, but since it's positive, it does not. We bring it straight down. Okay, and notice it doesn't matter that there was a negative on the right side. I just care about what I divided by. So label -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Keep going, -4, -5, -6, -7, and -8. For this one, because I have an equal to sign, I'm going to do a closed dot. And then my arrow, or my inequality sign, is pointing towards the left, so I need to shade towards the left. Okay, next problem. Let's go ahead and draw our line through the equal sign. And I need to cancel the 4 that's in the bottom of the fraction. So remember, when you see a fraction, it's really just a big division problem. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So if I multiply by 4 on both sides, it cancels my 4's out on the left. The only thing is that we need to pay attention to this negative sign. And to get rid of that negative sign, we actually need to multiply by -4 on both sides. Okay, so when I multiply by -4 on both sides, this cancels with those to give me k. And 9 times -4 is -36. And then this time I need to ask myself, did I multiply or divide the variable by a negative number? And in this case, I did. I actually multiplied by a -4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this inequality sign and flip it to face the other direction. And then I don't actually like to label this many points on my number line. So what I usually do is start with whatever number I got for my answer in the middle. And I do one number to the left and one number to the right. And I just said that backwards compared to how I wrote it, but you get the idea. This is a closed dot, so make sure it's filled in. And then my arrow, or my sign, is pointing to the left. So there's my answer on the number line. One last problem here. Let's go ahead and draw our line through the inequality sign. And this time you'll notice that the variable is actually on the right side of the equation. So if I want to get the x alone, I need to look at the 2 and not the 5. So always find that variable first. To cancel a -2, I'm going to do +2 on both sides. So 5 plus 2 gives me 7. I'm bringing down my x, and then I need to ask myself, did I multiply or divide my variable by a negative? And in this case, my answer is no, because I didn't even multiply or divide, I just added. So my sign comes straight down and doesn't change. Now, when you're doing this one, a lot of students tend to graph it incorrectly on the number line because of the way it's written. And if you look back at the beginning of the lesson, I did mention that if the variable comes first, it does tell you which way to shade. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch this. So I'm going to switch the x and the 7. But if I switch the x and the 7, I also have to flip my sign around. Okay. Now, I think this is a lot easier to read. I know I have an open dot because there's not an equal to sign. And now it's telling me I need to shade the numbers that are bigger than 7 or to the right. And that's it for today. So there's a practice page in your packet. Go ahead and get that done. The answer key is on the very last page. Make sure you match it up with the correct title. If you have any questions, let us know. If not, have a great day.